You think you've done everything right. You've got the degree, the job, the house, your pension, but still you feel like you're not progressing forward. 8 years ago, I was a single mum working 9 to 5. I'd done everything right, like you feel like you've done. I'd gone to uni, got a job, worked up the career ladder, paying off my mortgage, paying into a pension, followed all the traditional advice, yet I found myself in a worse financial position. I was taught to work hard, save, pay off my mortgage like most of us do, yet it never seemed to get me anywhere forward. Yet I wasn't taught to build wealth. Today I own an £8.2 million property portfolio, multiple businesses, and now I'm time free. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break the habits that are keeping you comfortable and get you out of the rat race. So habit number 1 is saving instead of growing. The middle class are taught to save for a rainy day. They put money in a bank. Now the bank interest rate is poor, inflation is high, so keeping your money in the bank is keeping you poor. Where rich people aren't taught to do that. Rich people are taught to get their money out of the bank, invest in assets that are going up in value, that will give them money. So instead of just sitting on it and saving it, the rich are taught to use that money to make them more money. Habit number 2 is paying your mortgage off early. Now this is one of my pet hates because you hear so many people talk about it. Oh, I just want to pay down the mortgage, got 10 years left. But it's one of the worst things that you could do if you want to build wealth. So the middle class want to pay down their mortgage really fast. So they overpay their mortgage every month. They look at how many years they've got left. But what's this actually going to do? It's going to leave you with a house with no mortgage, but you've still got to work out how to fund the rest of your life. You know, you've still got to pay for your cost of living. Whereas what rich people do is they don't focus on paying off the mortgage. What they do is they leverage that house and they use it to make more money. So if you've got a house and you've got a mortgage on it, part of the house that's not mortgaged is equity. You can get hold of that equity, and I call that lazy money, and you can put it to work and you can go and buy another asset. Then you've got 2 assets going up in value and one of them giving you an income. So instead of focusing on paying down the debt leveraged on the asset, which is actually a poor mindset, focus on leveraging the asset. Now, why isn't this a problem? This isn't a problem because houses are going up in value. So in 10 years' time, even though you've taken extra money out to use, your house has grown in value. So it's quite a safe thing to do because houses are safe. So leverage that debt, and we call that good debt. Use it to make you more money. This is exactly what I did, and in the link below, I've got a blueprint exactly how you can do it too. So habit number 3 is spending your money on items so that you look rich instead of actually being rich. Now, most people do this with cars. They come along, they buy a car cash, and they use a loan maybe to do it, or maybe their own cash they've got saved up. That car goes down in value, so it's one of the worst things you can buy. Instead, what you could do is you can lease a car. Now, what I teach my students to do is instead of buying a car outright for cash, what we do is we buy an asset. That asset goes up in value, gives us an income, and from the income from that asset, we use it to lease the car we want. We don't worry about looking rich, we worry about actually being rich. And rich means trading none of your time for money. So buy assets to give you an income. With that income, that passive income that you're not working for, you can then afford the luxury items in your life that you want. This isn't about not having it, it's about having it but doing it in the right way. If you come and you buy a car today for cash, in 4 years' time, you've lost most of its value and you need to buy another. If you buy a house using that same pot of cash, you buy it, you use it as a deposit, then you get a mortgage. In 4 years' time, that house has gone up in value and it's given you an income. So rich people understand the term lease liabilities buy assets. So you typically see them leasing cars, yachts, jets. They don't buy them because these go down in value, they lease them. So lease liabilities buy assets. So number 4 is budgeting. But a lot of people try and budget, they get it wrong, and then they don't have a vision for where they're going. For example, you wouldn't rock up to the airport, get on a plane and not know where you're going. When you travel, you always know the end destination. But so often in life, people don't do it like that. They just go through life, see what happens. Maybe they'll get lucky. They've got no actual plan and no end destination. So what I want you to do, very, very importantly, is set that end destination and work out how much passive income you need to live that end destination life. You know, it might be 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month, whatever it means to you, work it out. And then what I want you to do starting now is starting to budget. And we use something called the 70 10 10 10 rule. You're probably working now, most people are, in a 9 to 5 job, and you get one lot of salary in a month. So you get paid once a month. With that money coming in, what I want you to do is use 70% of it to live on. That will be your rent, mortgage, utilities, food, going out. 70% is your whole living costs. Then 10% you're going to put aside savings. 10% you're going to put to pay off bad debt, because most people in the UK have got bad debt, credit cards, loans. And then the final 10% is to use to make you money. Whether you invest it in gold, stocks and shares, any type of investment, use that last 10% to make you money. So you're living off of 70%, 10% you're saving, 10% you're paying off bad debt. And when all that bad debt's gone, put that 10% into the investment pot, which is a final 10% which to invest and get it to make you more money. So what we've learned so far in this video is that the wealthy use assets to pay for their time, where most normal people use their time. So they trade their time for money. If you think about it, your boss is actually buying your life. A couple of years ago, I was 31 and I worked out, me working for the rest of my life for the salary I was on, my boss was actually buying my life for 1.2 million. That didn't seem a lot to me, for me to give away my whole life, working all the time, having so many holidays, having to turn up every single day for a boss, you know, giving my life away, missing out on time with my family and friends. It didn't seem a lot, did it? And what I realised was, like, all normal people run around doing this. They trade their time for money because they don't understand there's a different way. Wealthy people don't. Wealthy people understand that passive income is the key. So they buy assets, mainly property or businesses. They have investments and they live off that passive income. So it's not them working, it's the assets, the investments that's working hard for them, so they can be free and they can do what they want every single day. Now that's a huge mindset shift from I've got to go to work to earn money to I'm going to get things, assets that are going to earn money for me. And when you start doing this, instead of getting paid once a month, you start getting paid several times a month. You have multiple income streams coming in so you can live your life. And most millionaires have 7 streams of income hitting their bank. So 7 different streams. So if one income stream goes, then they're okay. They've still got 6 other streams, where most normal people, they've just got a job. If that job goes tomorrow, what are they going to do for money? It's such a nicer place when you don't have to work for money. You can do what you love and you can still get paid because you've done it the right way. You've got assets and investments. And obviously, I'm a massive advocate of property. Property is great because it does 2 things for you. It goes up in value and it gives you the passive income. And so you're building generational, long-term wealth with it going up in value, and you're getting paid every single month, which is just beautiful. So the next time you think about working harder for your boss, doing extra hours, I want you to think about how many hours are you doing for yourself? Making money for yourself, because most of us don't think about working extra hours for your boss that you don't get paid for, but do you do that for yourself? And that's the big thing that I want you to think about. So if you're serious about wanting to know more, if you want to quit the rat race, then come and join me for my 90-minute free workshop. The link's in the description of this video. 90 minutes to change your life, and it'll help you build wealth, acquire assets, how to fund them, how to manage them, how to make sure they're profitable so you don't have to stay in the rat race. You can be free and do what you want. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Which one of these habits is keeping you poor?